Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In this video, today we are going to discuss about coroutine scopes. So what is coroutine scope? What are the scopes available and how to make use of the scopes efficiently in our Android application when using coroutines, okay? So this is what our topic today. So before jumping into that part, so just recall what is coroutine. In our previous section we have covered, right? Coroutine is a pattern, okay? See, this is the pattern. So when using this pattern, we can create efficient multi-threading code. So what are the things are there in coroutine? Scope is there, thread pool is there, and we can create a job. So when we create a coroutine, we are not actually creating a thread, but instead we are creating a job. Okay, the job is taken care by any of the thread from the thread pool. Now let's discuss about this scope or this blue color container. Okay, left hand side we have this, right? Scope. So what is that scope? A scope is a container. Okay, in Android we can say that as a context. Both is same. A scope is a container in which our job is attached with. Whenever the scope gets completed, so all the job attached with that scope, right, that will be cleared from memory automatically. So no need to worry about memory leak. In our tradition way of Android, how we are doing this, we have async task running in our activity. Whenever we are closing activity, what will happen? Memory leak is happening, right, because of the running async task. So to remove that memory leak issue, what we are doing, we have to manually cancel that async task when destroying activity. So what if we have a more than 10 or 20 async tasks that is running inside our activity? We have to cancel one by one, right? Manually we have to cancel all the job, but in case of coroutine scope, it will be cancelled automatically. That is the advantage. Okay. So let's come to the code part. We have a three scope. Okay, now I'm going to create a job with a global scope. What is this global scope means? Global scope represents our application scope. So whenever we create any job that is attached to the global scope, what will happen? That job is attached with our application context. So whenever our application gets killed, the job will also be cancelled automatically. Let's see the app how it is working. So what we are doing in our activity, we have a button. When I tap on that button, I'm starting a job in application scope. Okay, this is my first activity. I'm going to second activity. This is the first button. Okay, I'm starting this global scope job. I'm going to logcat. Make sure you have selected right emulator, right app, log.e, and then the tag. Okay, now I'm starting job under global scope. Okay, see what is happening. So our job is still running. Okay, now I'm closing this activity. See what is happening. The job is still running because this is started under our application scope, right? Even though that activity gets killed, but the job will not, because this is attached to application context. So whenever I kill my application properly at that point of time, it will be cleared from memory. See, this is keep on running because our application is running behind. That is why, see, our app is running behind. That is why it is keep on running the job. Now see, I'm closing this app entirely. After 3031 it is not printing. Okay, so what is happening? This global scope is attaching a job with our application context. So until our application is alive, job is there. When our application cleared from the memory, our job will also be cancelled. Now take some scenario. In case if you want to run a job that is specific to particular activity, okay, what should I do? I'm going to copy the code. In the second button I'm pasting. Okay, instead of global scope, now I'm going to launch a job in our activity scope. That is life cycle scope. So life cycle scope means this scope is this life cycle scope is the life cycle of this component. Which component? This is main activity 2 component. Okay, so this life cycle scope represents our activity life cycle. So inside this life cycle of I mean the life cycle of this activity, I'm running this job. So whenever this activity gets finished, right, at that point of time itself, this job will be finished automatically. See, now I'm running the app. So what we are doing, in the second button, we are launching a job under activity scope. Whenever our activity finished, it will also be cancelled. This is not a global scope. This is a life cycle scope. Okay, life cycle scope. I'm running the app again. Okay, and now I'm going to activity 2. Now I am starting a job in activity scope. Okay, I am typing on this button, copy this and paste it here. Okay, see our job is running within that activity, not our application, within that activity context. Okay, now I'm going back, see what is happening. Our activity 2 is finished, so along with that our job also be cancelled automatically. So that is the advantage of using life cycle scope. Whenever your activity finished date, all of your job will also be finished because the job is attached with that life cycle scope of that activity. Okay, now in some cases, right, whenever you rotate your device, it means whenever you are rotating a device, it is considered as a configuration change. Okay, so whenever a configuration change is happening in your device, what will happen? Our activity is recreated again. Okay, at that point of time, the previous state of an activity is there, right? That will be entirely cleared from the memory, the data as well. Okay, the second state of activity is there, right? Recreated activity, that will lose our data. It will end up with losing our data. So it is a serious UI issue in Android. So to fix that issue, what we are doing, we are going to have a concept of view model. So same like here, what we are doing, instead of running a job in our lifecycle scope, if we run a job under view model scope, it will automatically handle that configuration changes. Okay, now I have a button 3. Inside that button 3, I'm going to launch my view model dot fetch data. Okay, I'm calling this method. So what I'm doing, I'm copying this entire code and then I'm moving this entire job into this view model. Okay, see, inside this method I'm going to paste this. But here we have a problem, right? In view model we don't have a activity scope, but instead we have a view model scope here. So inside that view model scope I'm running a job. So what will happen? Whenever configuration change is happening in your device, activity gets recreated, but view model will not create. Okay, so the function that is running inside that view model, right, it will keep on running across your configuration changes. It will save its state of that activity. Whenever that activity gets recreated, it will get the original, I mean the updated data from view model. Okay, so we no need to worry about configuration changes. Now I'm going to run this app and let's see how it is working. Okay, I'm going to activity 2. In activity 2 you have view model scope, and inside that scope we are running a job. Okay, so our job is now running. So what is happening here? Under view model scope my job is running. Okay, now I'm rotating my device. See what is happening? The job will not be cancelled. See, our job will not be cancelled. It is keep on running. See here, it is keep on running. Okay, across configuration changes our view model will still alive, so that it will take care of that job. So whenever I change my device rotation again, you can see it again. Okay, see, across configuration changes the view model can save its state of an activity. Whenever that activity gets recreated, this is the recreated activity. Okay, this is the recreated activity. This activity can get the data from view model, and according to that it will render the UI. So we will not end up with configuration change issue and all. Okay, so this is the advantage of using view model scope. So we have covered three things, friend. First one is the application scope. When we run a job with application scope, the job is attached with application scope until application context is there, job is running there, and whenever we close our application, job will also be cancelled from memory. In case of lifecycle scope, our job is attached with particular component. Here this job is attached with this activity. Okay, whenever our activity gets finished, our job will also be cancelled automatically. To handle configuration changes and all, it's better way to go with view model. So what we are doing in third approach, we are using view model, and then inside view model scope we are launching one job. So across configuration changes will not end up with that errors. Okay, so across configuration changes it will save state of activity, and then whenever activity gets recreated, it will take up the updated data from view model and will post the data to UI. So this is all for this video, friend. Thank you for watching my video. I hope this video will be useful for you. Let's meet in our next session.